Former President Trump accusing the Justice Department of election interference after a judge unsealed a key filing from special counsel Jack Smith's 2020 election case just 33 days before this year's election.
Interesting. Brooke Singman is here with all the details. And Brooke, presidents now have broad immunity for official acts. So this is a brand new indictment from Jack Smith saying that everything Donald Trump did on January 6th was a private act.
Right. Those are the allegations that Jack Smith has been laying out in this 165-page filing, which Judge Tanya Chutkan unsealed yesterday. So that was 165 pages. And he lays out the alleged evidence he intends to use in an eventual trial against former President Trump. So Trump says, quote, for 60 days prior to an election, the Department of Injustice is supposed to do absolutely nothing that would taint or interfere with a case. They disobeyed their own rule in favor of complete and total election interference. I did nothing wrong. They did. This case is a scam. So the Justice Department does have an unwritten policy, which is referred to as the 60-day rule, and that often prevents major actions in cases that could impact election results in the 60 days leading up to Election Day. So earlier this year, the Supreme Court ruled that presidents and former presidents are immune from prosecution for official acts, which required Smith to file another indictment against Trump to navigate that ruling. But Smith argues, quote, none of the allegations or the evidence is protected by presidential immunity and says that this was all a private scheme. Smith's filing alleging in part, quote, when the defendant lost the 2020 presidential election, he resorted to crimes to try to stay in office. Democrat Congressman Jamie Raskin is slamming Trump over those allegations.
He was acting here, strictly speaking, in the Greek sense of the word, like a tyrant. A tyrant is someone who comes from outside of the constitutional order and tries to tear the constitutional order down in a brute exercise of just naked power. And that's what was taking place here.
But the former president says this is a, quote, hit job because he's leading Kamala Harris in the polls and because his running mate, J.D. Vance, humiliated Tim Walz.
Really good. I always like the Dark Knight memes. That's a good one, Jerry. We should do leading up to the election a meme theme every single week. I choose the Dark Knight, then Trump westerns, then Trump in space, I think, and then rap battles. I don't know, probably something like that. Okay, let's do meme themed weeks. What do we say, chat? What do we say, chat? We're gonna do our best to pull a JD Vance. We're gonna try our JD Vance look. Jim Halpert, ladies and gentlemen, today is Thursday, October 3rd, 2024. Time is flying. Thursday. Whoa, Jack Smith revives zombie indictment against Donald Trump. Ooh, very spooky. Just in time for October. New poll shows Trump taking lead with Arab voters. We actually did some research into this. We went to the most Muslim city in all of America and asked them about Trump, and we asked inside of a mosque. You wouldn't believe it. We'll play you some of those clips today. Julie Kelly and Jeremy from The Quartering joins the show. My name is Benny Johnson. This is The Benny Show. What keeps us rolling and going? We were working late into the evening on a very, very special project. I can tell you right now, this inside of the Benny Show mug is the blackout coffee that is, well, black. I'm not going to spill it. Maybe you can see something like that. You can see the coffee in there. Okay. All right. You can see the coffee in there. Don't spill. Killer Klein's running the studio. He's like, do not spill the coffee on the camera. Klein over there with his blackout coffee, iced coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, blackout coffee fuels the program, gives us the energy to fight the commies, and we are going to be using that energy today for very good things. The reason why we use blackout coffee, drink blackout coffee, is because they're family owned. They love America. They're not grifters, and they actually really, too, believe in this place and believe in our show. So we say thank you to Blackout Coffee, blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. You can get it for yourself. Use the coupon code Benny for 20% off your first order. Blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Be awake and not woke. Oh, yeah, baby. Blackout Coffee is going to be powering our show. What were we doing last night? Let's check this out. You're getting a sneak peek for what's about to happen on the internet. Ooh, baby. I'm going to let you guess what we about to do. I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited. Can you punch in a little bit? I'm so excited about this. Check this out. These are giant. I mean, I'm 6'1" on a good day. All right. I'm a relatively tall dude. And these signs are massive. let's just say we've built our own Trump gas station, and we're going to be charging Donald Trump gas prices. We're going to go back in time, get in our DeLorean, our flux capacitor, power it all up, 1.21 gigawatts. We're going to go back in time to Donald Trump gas prices today. How you feel about that, chat? What do you think, chat? What do you think? We're going to see what the reactions are for our fellow Americans, and it is going to, I believe, be glorious. Who doesn't want cheap gas again? To get this cheap gas, though, you're going to have to put a Trump sticker on your car. We're going to be filming that today. Get ready, okay? Get ready. We're very, very excited about it. Also very excited this morning. Got some personal news. We often don't share personal news, although it's been a very interesting year for us, quite frankly. There's been some major ups, some major downs, and that's just the way life goes, right? Sometimes you're in the barrel. Sometimes you're rolling that barrel straight over a cliff. And we are really excited to be, well, I guess on top of the barrel now. Something happened over the last couple of years. We started this show out of a spare bedroom in my home. I was just raging over COVID and Joe Biden's victory in 2020. And we decided, well, let's just start a podcast. It was me, it was ALX, and Danny, who was just getting his preliminary driver's license. I think he was 12 or 13. And, we pulled Danny away from his Dragon Ball Z Pokemon fetish, and ALX from his Magic the Gathering fetish. And I said, hey, boys, let's start a podcast. And lo and behold, God works in mysterious ways. We work very, very hard, and we didn't know what the hell we were doing. It's super cringe. Actually, can you scroll down to the photo? That's the next tweet. There you go. Look out. I don't drink anymore. You want to know why? Yeah, okay. Like a lot of stress, quite frankly. We had our house burned down in Washington, D.C. We were attacked like virtually every single day by BLM mobs. It was really bad. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. It was a bad time. And so we were under a lot of stress. We just let her rip inside the spare bedroom with the janky shot. Look at that shot. So cringe. Look at that shot. It's all like cockeyed too. It's like, let's just do the show from way over here. Okay. Anyway, we've learned a lot in the last 3 years, and thanks to you, and thanks to you believing in us, and you sticking with us through a lot of cringe and through a lot of technical errors, and us just start figuring it out by ourselves. Today, we can announce that The Benny Show is joining the Cumulus Podcast Network. And what does that mean? The Cumulus Podcast Network, Westwood One, you've probably heard their stingers on the Dan Bongino Show, Mark Levin, Sean Ryan, a lot of the Daily Wire podcast bros, right? Like they're a premier podcast network agency. What this means is that they're going to be partnering with us for the building of the show and the partnerships in the show to keep this show like headed out into space in a good way, like a SpaceX way, Starship way. We want to be building this rocket ship, bigger, better, and launching. And Cumulus is going to be helping us do that. And we're really, really excited. They're awesome people. Obviously, they rep some of our favorites. Again, Bongino, Mark Levin, Sean Ryan. They're an amazing team. The content of the show changes zero. The independence of the show changes zero. The editorial capacity for us to choose and do what we like to do on the show changes zero. It's all ours. All of it belongs to us. All your base belong to us. However, it's nice to have a business partner that actually really knows what they're doing and has been doing it for 20 years, right? I have been doing it for like 70 years inside of like the radio space. And so as the industry moves and as sort of the tectonic forces of the things that we're creating here, like develop, it's great to have like robust partners to make sure that we can like reach the next level. And so this is what we are doing today. Praise God. Thank you. It's not possible without you. Our singular mission is the audience here and speaking the truth. And as we have learned over the last 3 years, humbly, there is a ravenous appetite for truth, and we are here to fill that. All right. And so we thank you, onward, right? Keep fighting. We're fighting right alongside you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Rocking and rolling. Let's show some fight. Okay, let's show a little bit of fight. Kind of fun here. What's fighting look like? President Trump fighting through 400 years in prison. President Trump fighting through a number of bullets that has his name on them, right? That missed him, right? Bullets that miss Trump, man. Donald Trump fighting through arguably the most rigged potential process from a federal, legislative, political, judicial, and now assassination level. All of them out to kill Trump, right? Some metaphorically, some physically. That's what actual fight looks like. It's actually really inspiring. This is the most inspiring story, probably the most inspiring story of our lifetime. President Trump's up with a new inspiring ad. It's really cool. Alex, can you load that one? The pencil graphic ad. It's so cool. It's starting to hit like sort of a inspiring timbre and tenor with the end of the campaign 30 days away. Yo, it's going to be a wild ride. What are we looking at now with the polls across the country? We always want to do like sort of the snap of the polls right at the beginning of the show. Well, Donald Trump has now flipped the poly market, betting markets. There is like $1.5 billion that has been bet on this election, and that smart money is now going after Trump. Check this out. Donald Trump up to 50%. Kamala Harris at 50%, but she's crashing down to earth like a meteorite. Donald Trump has been on the rise. J.D. Vance's excellent debate performance gave that a bit of a lift, I got to tell you. Real Clear Politics now showing some really remarkable signs of Trump's strength. Trump projection 281 to Kamala Harris's 257. Is this what election night's going to look like? If this is what election night looks like, we go to bed early. Dude, if Trump wins Pennsylvania, we go to bed early. That's the way it is. Donald Trump's tied in Virginia. Donald Trump's tied in Michigan. Donald Trump has made up a deficit of 50 points in Michigan with young voters. This is wild. And we see this, of course, all across the country when we go out into the streets and we speak with people, specifically young people. We just did a recent Man on the Street where we went to it's called Ybor City. It's like where the young kids like go out to party. I am not a young kid. I'm pushing 40 and I do not like to party. I like to go to bed early with a little cup of tea. But we were out on Saturday night late. Now, I can't tell you what Eric and Klein did after I left. Okay. Maybe they partied. I don't know. But man, those kids were down for Trump. Let's make sure that we load up that Man on the Street. We haven't played that yet. I want to talk to you really quickly about this map because there's something that's bad going on here that's rigging the election. Then we're going to get to Jack Smith and all of the L's that Jack Smith's taken. And we can't wait to talk about this with Julie Kelly. There are polls like Morning Consult, particularly, and Politico and Bloomberg, who their sole reason for being is to rig the election. And what do I mean by that? You can go into their crosstabs and you can see that these specific polls over-index people from California and New York, over-index Democrats by like 30 points. It's egregious. And the intention is to take places like Real Clear Politics, which averages out a bunch of polls, which averages all of the national polls together, and to drag the whole polling system left. So that's what's happening here. And Donald Trump is still winning. Real Clear Politics, battleground states, baby. Let's go. Real Clear Politics, battleground averages, Trump leading in the battleground states. Oh, yeah. Even with all the rigged and broken polls. Check this out. Arabs for Trump. You ever seen it? This is amazing. Arabs for Trump. Donald Trump winning. General election poll with Arab voters. You ain't going to win. Bro, you ain't going to win. Donald Trump winning in Michigan. Donald Trump. Here we go. Michigan, Trump up 2. Trafalgar Group, the most accurate pollster in America. Donald Trump in Wisconsin. Here we go. Donald Trump up 1 in Wisconsin, which is insane. And North Carolina. Get ready, baby. Donald Trump up 1 in North Carolina. Who's this? Quinnipiac. Incredible. Quinnipiac is a very much a left-leaning bias poll. So we are looking ahead and saying, man, things are locking in right now. Donald Trump with young voters in Michigan, with the youth, Donald Trump's doing incredible. Check this out.
How is Vice President Harris performing with young voters compared to how President Biden did in 2020? Oh, some numbers, Anderson, to help with that question. Number one, just look at this choice for president. I want to stretch this out a little bit. Excuse me for turning my back. This is from a recent New York Times Siena poll. It shows Donald Trump and the vice president tied among voters aged 18 to 29. Joe Biden carried that group by 24 points in 2020 in the exit polls. From being on the ground, remember, when you poll a smaller subgroup in a poll, there's a bigger margin of error. I can't quite believe it's a tie from being on the ground several times in Michigan, but there's no question the vice president is doing better than President Biden was doing earlier this year, when a lot of young voters didn't want him to be the candidate anymore. But she's not doing as well as he did back in 2020. There's no doubt about that. Absolutely no doubt about it.
Made up a deficit of 30 points with young voters. It's amazing. Some of the energy that's out there is just wild. We just got a bunch of videos from Charlie Kirk, who's also a dear friend of the show. And it's him registering 750 new voters in the state of Arizona, which of course is a swing state. Look at this. I'll send. Let me send this to chat. Check this out. It's crazy. I just want you to know that the energy is on our side, and we want to continue to say this because they're going to try dirty tricks, and we need to be confident in our victory. Why? Because we put in the work. Look at this. This is Charlie Kirk in Arizona, Grand Canyon University. 750 new voter registrations, handing out MAGA hats. They run out of MAGA hats. They got hundreds of MAGA hats. They run out of them. Dude, that's amazing. Did you love that? Did you love this? That's a good one, Klein. It's a good one. Okay, all right. Before we move on, Arabs for Trump. There's Arabs for Trump. It's pretty awesome. Okay, all right, here we go, baby. Donald Trump ripped scam case by Jack Smith. Accuses Biden DOJ of election interference. January 6th, evidence made public at 33 days after the election. Really? What was made public? What's new here? Nothing. The only thing that's new here is, and you can see it all across social media, left-wing accounts taking Jack Smith's filing and trying to say, hey, yo, look, the Donald Trump called for an insurrection. They're lying. It's definitive, provable, demonstrable lies. Apparently there's some staffer or something that said something about the insurrection or riling up the crowd. It wasn't Trump, but they're attributing all of this to Trump. Let us begin by saying this. Jack Smith isn't a real person. He's not a real person. Jack Smith is a dirty trick himself. He's not real. He's not legitimate. He doesn't actually exist. If you turn on the lights, he goes away. It's incredible. Check this out. Jack Smith is simply a hatchet man for the left to take out, like a Scud missile, those who they see as potential threats to them. I want to rewind the clock back, since we are using a flux capacitor and we do have that capacity to go back in time during the show. I want to remind you really quickly of all the L's that Jack Smith has taken in his career, okay, and show you just how desperate this move is before we dive into what they just did to Trump yesterday. Jack Smith was brought in as a human Scud missile to take out a guy named Bob McDonnell. Now, Bob McDonnell, and I think ALX has sort of these cases sort of pinned up. Okay, there we go with Politico. Bob McDonnell was the governor of Virginia. He's a Republican, and he was going to run against Barack Obama. He was going to run and, quite frankly, put up a far better fight than I think Mitt Romney put up against Barack Obama in 2012. Bob McDonnell was very popular. He's from what was considered kind of a purple state, and he was a really impressive governor. Jack Smith ruined his career by doing a fraudulent indictment, getting a fraudulent indictment of Bob McDonnell. Ends up being overturned by the Supreme Court 9-0. But what does it do? It destroys the guy's career. It stops him from being able to run because that makes you politically untouchable. When you have a situation like that, a 9-0 overturning in a liberal court, not today's Clarence Thomas court, a liberal court. This was Jack Smith's first Scud missile operation. It didn't matter because they got what they wanted. What they wanted was take a guy off the chessboard, okay? Jack Smith brought cases against President Trump after the FBI raided his house, went through Melania Trump's unmentionables, Barron Trump's bedroom. So they raided Melania Trump's boudoir and little kids' rooms, okay, for fidget spinners. Jack Smith got nuked in this case. It was thrown out of court. Jack Smith's entire case was literally shoved into the incinerator by Judge Eileen Cannon, saying, you are not actually even rightfully appointed. You have no right to even be a special counsel. You didn't pass Senate confirmation. You're not a current employee of the Justice Department. You are a human scud missile. You are just here to try and destroy, for political purposes, through the judicial system, Republicans. So I'm taking your little indictment. I'm going to take your little indictment and say, ooh, this is worthless. Throw it in the trash. There's a meme of that. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to the actual Supreme Court. In the Fisher decision, Jack Smith and his January 6th indictment of President Trump went up in flames because in the Fisher decision from the Supreme Court, they said that you are way overcharging and overextending this little minute law that should apply to corporate espionage and Enron to January 6th. The destruction of federal documents or destruction or impediment of federal proceedings. You have way overextended that. You're wrong. You can't charge people with that. Well, that was half of the charges Jack Smith brought against Trump. Boom, out the door. The list of L's go on and on and on. Here, Julie Kelly's classified. Dooms Jack Smith again at the SCOTUS. Julie Kelly will be on the program very, very soon to talk through. I don't think there's anybody who's taken more L's than Jack Smith. So then why is Jack Smith back in the news 30 days before the election? Well, the whole intention of Jack Smith is, again, he's a judicial dirty bomb intended to sow chaos and to harm as many people as possible, men, women, and children. Anybody around Donald Trump. He's back in action trying to revive the dead indictment against President Trump for January 6th. Now, of course, you may recall, March peacefully and patriotically, Donald Trump giving all of the National Guardsmen to protect the Capitol, which, of course, if a single National Guardman had been there would have been no January 6th. Like, all you needed was like a small attaché, just like 2 or 3 guys. Like, you're not going to step to these, like the American military. The American military is really, really, well, intimidating. I know this because I lived in Washington, D.C. when the American military effectively conquered all of Washington, D.C. And they were stationed right outside of my house, which is next to the armory. Dude, it was very intimidating. You're not going to step to these guys when they're standing in formation. Man, no. Huh. Nancy Pelosi said no. Muriel Bowser said no. Donald Trump's the number one person. I will say this. I'll defend this. I would defend this in a court of law. I would defend this on a debate stage. Donald Trump is actually the number one person who attempted to prevent January 6th. He's the opposite of the person who incited January 6th. He was the number one force trying to stop it. That's what all the evidence points to. New and interesting breaking information actually about how much General Milley was acting in a treasonous manner, refusing the orders of Donald Trump. Donald Trump told General Milley, get the National Guard there. The general refused the orders of the president, working with Susan Rice and all the Obama people. So if you wonder where this is all coming from, yeah, it's a military coup. It's just the opposite of what they tell you, just like everything. So Jack Smith, with effectively the same indictment, is the same indictment. It's everything that we've ever read before. They're doing it in order to mess, in order to create like and manufacture a new news cycle, to revive dead prosecutions in a desperate attempt. And I'll tell you this before, obviously we have a very uplifting show here and we like having the silver linings and a stiff upper lip, chip on our shoulder, silver linings on this show. The silver linings take on this is, the assassination attempts, legal, judicial, political, or physical, wouldn't be necessary if Donald Trump wasn't winning. We wouldn't have to do them. If Trump wasn't in command and he wasn't winning, why would they be doing all that? Why would they be going to these great lengths? This costs a lot of money. This takes a lot of time. This takes a lot of effort. Energy. It's kinetic. You better spend it on something that you believe is like a pursuit that's going to get you where you want to go. They're spending so much energy on the assassinations of President Trump. I say that in quotes because there are a lot of different ways to assassinate President Trump. And they wouldn't be doing that if President Trump wasn't a threat. Everything's kinetic. Donald Trump responding saying, Jack Smith is deranged. Here we go.
We know that special counsel Jack Smith had filed court documents calling your actions in the aftermath of the 2020 election, quote, a private criminal effort. Can you respond to that?
He's a deranged person. I call him deranged Jack Smith. He just lost the big documents case. That was the biggest of them all. They said the documents case, and they said that was the toughest of them all. Let me tell you, we just won it, and it was won strongly and completely. And it was a total victory in Florida. And he is a person who is trying, and he works for Kamala and he works for Joe. This was a weaponization of government, and that's why it was released 30 days before the election. And it's nothing new in there, by the way, nothing new. They rigged the election. I didn't rig the election. They should have never allowed the information to come before the public. But they did that because they want to hurt you with the election. It's pure election interference to get an incompetent person like Kamala. She's grossly incompetent. She's more incompetent than Biden to get these people elected.
True. It's been proven true on the show time and time again. And as you go through what Jack Smith actually is to the Democrat Party, you realize what a dirty, dirty trick he is. He's just a dirty bomb, right? He's just a terrorist is what he is. It's a political terrorist. And the guy has no morals, no capacity to actually win in a court of law. He's overturned 9-0 at the Supreme Court. He has no legitimacy. That's what they was thrown out of court in Florida for. You're not even a legitimate special prosecutor. You're a fake, Fugazi. It's not real. Turn on the lights. He goes away. And so now he's screaming back from the depths because he wants to have the last word. It's really pathetic. Alina Habba taking him to the woodshed. Here we go.
This is just breaking. Jack Smith and this crazy judge in D.C., they're dropping all kinds of legal bombs. Happens to be the day after Walz bombs this debate.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Okay, so let me just be very clear on this. The Department of Justice has been complicit, and we've said this numerous times, but America, pay attention. We have 30 plus days now until an election. We are going to be hit with an onslaught of fake news. We're going to be hit with an onslaught of litigation. That's what they do. And we have to understand one thing. This is called desperation. It's very simple. Look it up in Merriam-Webster's. Desperation. That is what you're seeing from Jack Smith, who has failed numerous times, failed in Florida. From the debate. Look, it's a distraction. Pay attention, America. Save our country. We got 30-something days. Get out and vote.
Yeah.
It does seem like a distraction. Isn't it interesting? I don't know the exact timeline. All right. Julie Kelly's coming up. Julie Kelly knows the exact timeline. I don't know the exact timeline. I'm telling you that with every Trump W, maybe this is mapped out somewhere, Alex. I'm not sure. With every Trump W, this last 18 months, as you recall, every time Donald Trump won a primary or won a debate or had a new polling record or was victorious in some legal arena, they had a new indictment up their sleeve to drop on Trump. They did this every time. Boom, bam, every time. Every time they were waiting. They read these news cycles. We consider ourselves good at reading the news cycles and good at predicting and being able to algorithmically, mathematically, like lock in good content people are going to want. It's all about timing. And it's about like kind of understanding your audience, knowing your audience, and being authentic. Man, these demons, they knew exactly when to take the oxygen out of every Trump victory. And they were ready, knowing that Tim Walz was going to get his pasty ass kicked in the debate. They were ready with this to drop literally hours after every poll, as we covered yesterday, every single poll from CNN to CBS said Tim Walz lost in a landslide. J.D. Vance won. And J.D. Vance is now like more air under the wings of the Trump campaign. With that good news cycle and with that excellent debate performance, I would argue possibly the best debate in history for what it was, okay? For if you take into account all of the variables and all of the pressures, possibly the best debate we've seen in our lifetime for a Republican. They knew that was going to happen. and they had this indictment ready, card up the sleeve, right? As soon as Trump hits that like good positive acceleration news cycle, bam, Jack Smith comes back with what? The same indictment? This is crazy. What's going on with this guy? What the hell's wrong with him? What is that? Can you start the clip? Start the clip one more time. What? Again, I'm live. We're live for like hours a day. If you ever caught me going like this, Killer Klein's over there. Like, if you ever caught me going like this, call an ambulance. I'm having a stroke or a seizure. Something's wrong. Why does he keep doing this? What's wrong with this guy? Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Whitaker is someone who was the Attorney General, friend of the show, and he was the acting Attorney General for President Trump. He knows these systems better than almost anyone. He said, "This is just the same indictment. They have nothing. They've just released the same thing they've already released to the public. Now they're just like they just I don't know what repackaged it. The 20th anniversary edition with special director commentary. They've just released the same movie. Here we go."
This was the person that was the right-hand man to Bob Mueller during the entire investigation. You see his bias and how awful he must have been in the room with Bob Mueller and that team, trying to, bring Donald Trump, the last time they attempted this. But, if you read this 150, 60-page report, filing, what you unpack is essentially they took the same, rehashed story, and now they've just added the word private several times in front of their allegations in hopes that they can, remember how skeptical the Supreme Court was in the Trump immunity case, and it doesn't seem like that's fazed them at all. And I think the Supreme Court has got to be pretty disappointed if this is the process they're going to go to determine which bucket, whether it's, official or
private or official
business. But not core or private. Yeah. But this did not move the needle at all.
I don't think it moved the needle at all. I was arguing with ALX about even doing a show about it today because I don't want to signal boost. I don't want to signal boost their dirty tricks on Trump. I don't want to signal boost it. However, we decided to go with this angle today. Well, because one, lawfare on Trump is something that deserves discussion and deserves autopsy. But two, it's such an embarrassing admission of their own failures. Here we go. Here's the cover-up. The coincidence or a cover-up. Every single time there's a good news cycle for Trump, the DOJ has some dirty trick up their sleeve. They're scared. They wouldn't be doing this. Takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of planning. They wouldn't be doing this if Trump wasn't a threat. If Trump wasn't winning, they wouldn't be here. The assassination attempts wouldn't be necessary were not Trump winning. I wonder if Julie Kelly agrees with me. Obviously, one of the foremost critiques, for the Tim Walz pinky in the air of Jack Smith. She takes a hammer to Jack Smith every single day. Probably the most feared woman of inside the DOJ right now. The great Julie Kelly joins the show live. The most feared woman inside the DOJ. I know it's true. When you come trotting into one of those courtrooms, I know it. I know they sit there and they look. They're like, oh God, Julie Kelly's here. Oh no. Okay.
That's why I wear my high heels.
I'm
5'10" in person, so I want to make sure I'm like over 6 feet. So I tower over Jay Bratt.
Oh yeah, all right, yeah, good. I mean, hey, listen, at least you're not here opining. What did we have last time? Someone talking about how glorious Jack Smith's beard is. Some CNN reporter, how glowing he was. Yeah, okay, all right, yeah. Okay, so let's smack Jack Smith around a little bit here. What the hell happened yesterday? This seems like extreme psychotic, overly medicated ex-girlfriend style texting. Right? Like, please, like, yeah. Do you remember all the good times?
This is like the boiling bunny and the pot, right? This is Jack Smith's The Boiling Bunny from Fatal Attraction, this 165-page, what I call now dirty dossier, right, Benny? So we had the Steele dossier in 2016, We had the collaboration, the Hunter Biden so-called dossier that we said was that all of the government, FBI was in cahoots with big tech and the media, intelligence officials, to call that Russian disinformation. But now, Benny, they don't even have to do it behind closed doors. They are doing it out in the open. This is what this immunity motion, 165 page, like Matt Whitaker said, a lot of rehashing of the January 6th Select Committee report. But it's different when you have it in a political document, which the J6 report was. But to put the Department of Justice's imprimatur on this garbage, this partisan political hack job by Jack Smith, and here's the bottom line, Benny. Jack Smith and Tanya Chutkan know this case will never go to a jury trial. They know between the Supreme Court ruling in immunity and the Supreme Court ruling in Fisher, which you and I have talked about, 1512C2, overturning how the DOJ flagrantly misinterpreted the language in that post-Enron statute, overturn that. Benny, that represents 2 of these 4 weak counts in Jack Smith's indictment. This is going nowhere. But between Judge Chutkan, an Obama appointee with a long record of making anti-Trump statements in her courtroom, I've been there and I've seen it, and Jack Smith and the DOJ, they want to seed media with more inflammatory stories about January 6th, what happened before January 6th, and they are successfully doing so. This is his opening arguments for a case that will never make it to a jury trial. It is really infuriating, again, to see the most egregious example of DOJ interference, not interference in an election, putting their the entire department's weight on the scales of justice, denying Donald Trump's due process rights, his First Amendment rights, Benny. This is a First Amendment case. Donald Trump can say whatever he wants in the White House. He can say whatever he wants to Vice President Pence or to governors in Georgia or Arizona or election workers or his own attorneys. This is Jack Smith criminalizing political activity that we have tolerated for 200 plus years in the White House, that we're tolerating right now. His attempt to criminalize, only in Donald Trump's case, political activity that we know happens every day in a White House in the United States.
You saw this in the vice president's debate, and I have to bring this up simply because the timing is just so unique and convenient for this brand new, not actually so new filing. Same filing we've seen before, but Tim Walz gets his ass kicked, and everybody's talking about how shocking it was that Tim Walz says no, hate speech should be banned. Like that's actually possibly the most radical position that's been taken by any presidential ticket ever. In fact, that there are parts of speech that must be banned under the First Amendment, sort of dovetailing into this indictment. And then they drop it. They drop it right after the debate, just like we've seen before with these DOJ indictments. How malign is this operation? Do you think that they are actually following news cycles in order to hit Trump at particularly high notes in order to rip away potential wins from the president?
Right. So let's talk a little bit about the timing. And you brought this up before I came on. So this unusual, and when Judge Chutkan allowed this brief to be filed, she said, I was there in the courtroom. I talked to you right afterwards. I was in the courtroom September 5th. Jack Smith was there. The media is swooning over him. People from Washington, D.C. who hate Trump, they were packed in this courtroom. And she called this brief irregular and outside of the ordinary course of what happened of the court process. She doesn't care. She immediately that evening allowed Jack Smith to file this, what he called opening brief. Then this turns into a motion for immunity determinations. That's what he called it. Then he asked Judge Chutkan to exceed the normal page limit, which is about 40 pages in a motion, to quadruple that to 180 pages. She, of course, allows it. So that was placed under seal on September 26th. Judge Chutkan gave Donald Trump's lawyers a few days to go through this 165-page document and the alleged redactions, which weren't very helpful at all, gave them until October 1st, so that was Tuesday evening, the night of the debate, to file their objections. She unsealed it yesterday. So do you think Judge Chutkan actually was looking at any of the concerns that Donald Trump's lawyers? She didn't care. She is nothing more than a rubber stamp and has been from the very beginning. And Benny, this is why she got in trouble at the Supreme Court. Not only did they vacate her original immunity order, denying all forms of immunity to Donald Trump in a December 2023 ruling, all forms of it, just categorically, blanketly denying presidential immunity in this unprecedented case. Chief Justice John Roberts criticized her numerous times for her hasty, expedited handling of an unprecedented question of criminal immunity from criminal prosecution. She learned nothing. She strode into that courtroom on September 5th like she had just been upheld 9-0. And she was, taking it to John Lauro, Trump's attorney. And here she granted this. So unsealing it yesterday, no consideration for how this was going to be perceived and reported in the media, which of course, false stories about what it involved.
Of course.
So
it's nothing but hoaxes in my timeline. Nothing but hoaxes in my timeline. You've been nuking some of these people, and thank you for that work because you actually read the documents. But it's just pure hoax. They're just throwing red meat to the people who have had their brains psychotically broken through Trump derangement syndrome.
That's right. I mean, I was watching CNN yesterday because I like to see what the crazy people on the other side are doing, and I mean, Jake Tapper is holding this up like it was his Christmas present. They're celebrating on the news set like it's New Year's Eve. They couldn't hide their glee that again, a brazen example of DOJ interference, not just tipping the scales, rigging the election again against Donald Trump. Yeah. They gave it no consideration whatsoever. They can't wait for the next. Now there's a new filing that's going to be coming, which is the appendix to this 165-page dossier that will lay out exactly where this information came from. Grand jury testimony, FBI 302s. And Benny, here's the really hypocritical part of all of this. I have watched Jack Smith in Florida, the documents case, which was now dismissed by Aileen Cannon in July, concluding that Jack Smith has been unconstitutionally appointed. I've watched his team in Florida, and I've watched his team in Washington, and I've watched Judge Chutkan beg to keep everything under wraps, right? To keep everything under protective order, under seal, under major redactions for fear of witness intimidation. She has Donald Trump under a gag order to this day, Benny, saying he cannot make public critical statements about potential witnesses in this case because it could lead to witness intimidation. She has also said, and Jack Smith has said this, we need to preserve the integrity of the proceedings. So all of this discovery, classified and unclassified, should be kept under wraps. All of a sudden, none of that applies, right? Doesn't matter what witnesses are revealed by this document. Doesn't matter if their grand jury testimony is unsealed. Doesn't matter if all of a sudden FBI 302s. This is the same sort of thing that led to calls for Aileen Cannon's recusal in Florida when she allowed some of this material to be unredacted. Recall that, Benny. Now all of a sudden, the media is like, this is great. Who cares if these people get intimidated or threatened? Judge Chutkan doesn't care. Jack Smith doesn't care. All of the rules thrown out the window on a 1A case, and in the process, denying Donald Trump again his due process rights, his right to confront the people who are making these allegations against him, to confront his accuser. Sorry, I lost the word there. So this is a complete denial of his rights, as both of these cases have been. And now they're just going to keep feeding the media beast every single hour with this document as people are starting to vote in some states.
Oh man, we've seen it. Anybody who's been around long enough has experienced it time and time again. It just doesn't matter what the truth is, as long as they can get a smear, a slander on you, the wrap-up smear, as it's been elucidated by Nancy Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi in a fit of pique or drunkenness just explained their entire media strategy a couple of years ago. It's really funny. I don't know if you've ever seen the clip, the wrap-up smear of Nancy Pelosi, but describing this exact process. Right? How none of it needs to be true. You just need to smear your enemy with something that you're actually you're actually doing, and then you merchandise it to the media, and the media like runs with it and screams with it, and all anyone ever cares about is a headline. And it seems like that's exactly what they're doing to Trump. Then these actions here that you just talked through, since you've actually been in the courthouse, man, this seems like judicial jihad. Is this like a suicide mission? Like it feels to me, and tell me if I'm wrong here, man. I happen to be, I tend to be an optimistic person. Feels to me that they're like, quick, he's gonna win. He's gonna destroy us all. Throw everything you can at him, right? Like do it all, right? Pack the cars with as much as you could possibly fit in the trunk, all right? And let's just drive straight towards the base. What do you think?
I totally agree. I mean, I've heard what you said. If he was losing, they wouldn't be doing any of this because they wouldn't jeopardize. And they know that their lawfare
seems desperate. Seems very desperate.
Yeah. They are totally desperate. And that's why and to your point about projection, you have Tim Walz on the debate stage the other night talking about how if Donald Trump wins, he's going to use his DOJ to exact revenge against his political opponents. I mean, hello. And this is the news media doing the same reporters who are covering Jack Smith and the DOJ are complaining that Donald Trump is going to use his DOJ to do the same thing. If only, fingers crossed. Because Benny, as I wrote today on Twitter, what Jack Smith and Judge Chutkan in this DOJ, and this is Merrick Garland, Lisa Monaco, this is everyone at Maine Justice, they have done this as well. This cannot be forgiven and it cannot be forgotten. Unlike 2016, unlike 2020, when no one faced consequences for using the overwhelming tools of the federal government to aim their fire and destroy Donald Trump, this act yesterday absolutely must face repercussions. And Jack Smith, the unconstitutional special counsel who brags in court that he has unlimited resources, unlimited. He has spent, Benny, think about this. In the first 14 months of this prosecution between the special counsel and DOJ, $35 million in 14 months. That doesn't include what he has spent since March of this year until now. It also does not include what the Department of Justice has spent since they initiated this investigation in 2021, before Jack Smith was appointed, almost 2 years later. We need accountability, not just for Donald Trump, not just for his associates, Peter Lake, Stephen Bannon, and Peter Navarro and Steve Bannon, who served jail time, and for the 1,500 plus J6ers who have endured the wrath of this DOJ. This must be dealt with when Donald Trump wins the White House.
Yeah, we really, really look forward to that. I mean, how are you going to even have a functional country if you don't? If there's no consequences here, and if these people are allowed to do this, and as we built sort of into the block leading into this segment, Julie, like Jack Smith is a human dirty bomb, like a judicial dirty bomb. It has been used against Bob McDonnell in this capacity, overturned at the Supreme Court. Everything, this guy's entire career. Yes, his entire career's illegitimacy and being a hatchet man in order to destroy political careers and get humiliated by real legitimate courts, but to do so through wrap-up smears, through the media. It's pretty embarrassing. You mentioned the people who are going to be unsealed in all of this, who may have been testifying against Donald Trump. One of them was on national TV last night, and wow, I mean, really, it's pretty shocking here. Is Cassidy Hutchinson? I just want to get you to respond to this very short clip of she's a very impressive person. She's endorsing Kamala Harris on TV here. Her only job is to just go and repeat the line, right, that her publicists have given her. Mm-hmm. And here's how it went.
A few issues that Kamala Harris and I would see eye to eye on. I hope that we'd be able to come to consensus on a lot more issues.
They're not sending their best, Julie.
Well, Cassidy Hutchinson, as we know, because of the work of Representative Barry Loudermilk over at House Administration Committee, we know now, lied under oath repeatedly at the behest of Liz Cheney. Remember, she's the one who made that dramatic testimony about how Donald Trump lunged at his Secret Service detail and the driver, after they left the ellipse after a speech on January 6th, went back. Turns out that was completely fabricated. made up out of whole cloth. But yet she took an oath before the J6 committee. She told the entire world that story, that made up story. And then she's reversed herself several times on her testimony. Again, no consequences yet. So here she is, instead of facing perjury charges, many perjury charges, she is now, again, the queen of cable news media. So this is the frustration. I know, Benny, you feel it. Your viewers feel it. Our side feels it. It's just the same people getting away over and over with not just targeting Donald Trump, his associates, his voters, but all of us, in really endangering and accelerating this lawfare and this descent into banana republic style territory. This is what happens in authoritarian countries, where you imprison your political opponents, whether they're the toughest, strongest like Donald Trump or the weakest like J6ers. I was getting texts again this morning, a man with 2 special needs children who was sentenced to 40 months in prison. This just happened yesterday. They are not stopping. And using first day protected speech to turn political dissent into a crime punishable by prison, and in the meantime denying 4A, 5A, 6A, 8A Bill of Rights, constitutional protections that we have. And this is much bigger than Donald Trump. And that's the danger if we continue to allow these individuals in our federal government to get away with what they're doing.
I want to touch very quickly here on something that broke last week that we haven't gotten an opportunity to talk about, which is General Milley coming now forward in released testimony saying, yeah, I just defied the president. The president asked for National Guard, and I just said no to the commander-in-chief. And I'm the general and Joint Chief of Staff, and we've decided that we're just not going to do what he asks us to do. In fact, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to make sure that the Capitol building is as least secure as we can possibly make it. I lived through the National Guard being deployed throughout Washington, D.C. I know what it looks like when a building is protected by the National Guard. Nobody gets through. You're going to take your life in your hand. There's nothing more intimidating than the American military standing in formation in front of a building they don't want you to get into, right? And so if President Trump was followed through, if Mark Milley had done what the commander-in-chief ordered him to do and secured the Capitol building, the chances of January 6th popping off is exactly zero. Exactly. Zero. You just have a protest. Some people hold signs. Some people say, we want free and fair elections. And that's it. That's literally it. Everyone goes home. Guy plays the banjo. And that's the end. And there is no J6. Mark Milley here saying, no, where's the military tribunals for this dude?
Oh, he should face military tribunals for so many reasons, as you know, Benny. But I do want to give your viewers a little heads up on something, preview into a piece that we've been working on for weeks. And that is a blow-by-blow account of the National Guard requests, who made them and who denied them. And General Milley is just one of them, who is in cahoots with Ryan McCarthy, the acting secretary of the Army, who changed the authorization chain of command the day before January 6th. But this is going to be, I believe, the most exhaustive timeline yet available. Who denied National Guard requests from Milley to not right. They slow walked it, right? They slow walked it. But you also had the Sergeant at Arms for Nancy Pelosi denying it. You had Mitch McConnell, Sergeant at Arms, denying National Guardsmen. You had people who, after January 6th, misrepresented who was talking to whom to finally get authorization after 5 o'clock that day. You had National Guard from other states who had arrived at Capitol grounds before the DC National Guard. This timeline will fully explain who was asking, who was denying it, why they did. And again, to your point, and this is important to emphasize, leaving the Capitol intentionally unprotected and vulnerable on January 6th, despite all that we're told now, all of the intelligence, all of the meetings behind the scenes, the conference calls between top Trump cabinet officials, DOD, Mark Milley, DOJ, DHS, they were all talking before January 6th. But yet no one authorized the deployment of even 1,000 National Guardsmen when they had the ability to do so. That, of course, is one of the biggest unanswered questions of January 6th. And I will be posting that on my Substack later tonight or tomorrow. I will send it to you when it's up.
Ladies and gentlemen, this image is what it looks like when BLM and Antifa, terrorist groups of the left, wholly and totally funded and fomented by Democrat leadership, when they were marauding through Washington, D.C., burning the city, quite frankly, to timber and spray painting memorials and desecrating our monuments. And that was then politically damaging the Democrat chances in 2020. This is what Democrats agreed to. This is how Democrats protected monuments when it could have politically blown back on them, when their riots were getting out of control. Mm-hmm. And so this is what they denied President Trump for what? I mean, come on, fill in the blank. It's the easiest Mad Lib ever. There would have been no January 6th if the Capitol looked like that. Obviously, right? Yeah, exactly. Julie Kelly at Declassified Live, the best. We cannot wait for you to publish that. Please come back on the program when that sucker's up. Bring your doggies with you. We always talk about your sweet doggies.
I know. I'm outside right now, so they're not disruptive.
Okay. we really look forward to that report. And I guess in closing here, I just want to put a pin in something just to make sure that there's just make sure that we get something straight. The Jack Smith case won't ever see a jury. You say that with such certitude. Is it because of a President Trump victory? Just quickly here.
Well, of course, if Donald Trump wins, his DOJ will dismiss the count. If he does lose, this still will be overturned. This existing indictment will never pass the Supreme Court immunity test or the Fisher test. The indictment will never survive the light of day after that and go to a jury. This is the only hope that they have.
So it's all just dirty politics from dirty people. Ooh. Oh, man, a cleansing fire in Washington, D.C. Please let it happen. And Julie Kelly, bringing it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Benny.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, baby. All right. Rocking and rolling today. The list of L's continue to rack up. They wouldn't need to pull off the assassination attempts if they were confident in their victory. They wouldn't need all of this. It's kinetic energy, man. It's got to be spent on something. They're spending so much energy on destroying Trump. Why? Why would you wouldn't do that if he was like the Cleveland Browns, right? If they had no chance of winning, you wouldn't do it. Tim Walz yesterday explaining how many shooter friends he has, how many school shooter friends he has. Very interesting gaffe. You know, it'd be funny. This is a curious thing that was brought up when Saturday Night Live had the guy playing, I think it was Will Ferrell at the time, said strategery. People literally attributed that to something George Bush said. Or Sarah Palin, I can see Alaska from my house. Do you remember those? Do you remember those years? People attribute those quotes. They made fun of the stupidity or the lack of polished sentences from Republican leaders so savagely that people actually thought Sarah Palin says, I can see Alaska from my house, or that George W. Bush made up words like strategery. They didn't. They never actually said it. But the corporate media is so good at psyoping and the smooth brains and the sheep and the seals that you go to a lib these days and you ask them those questions and they think those are real quotes. I only say that to say that Tim Walz said literally on the debate stage with hundreds of millions of people watching that he's dear friends with school shooters. Here we go. Killer Klein. This one, no, the Walz school shooter, the original one in the script?
It just got added just now.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Wow, boys, building the plane as we've taken off. We've already been live for an hour. Boys. All right, here we go.
You previously opposed an assault weapons ban, but only later in your political career did you change your position. Why?
Yeah, I sat in that office with those Sandy Hook parents. I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it. Look, the NRA, I was an NRA guy for a long time. They used to teach gun safety.
Poor ALX. Poor ALX. Adding in the chat. Adding. That's all right. He said it. He said he'd been friends with school shooters. Okay, then Walz gets asked about this. You would assume that this would be You'd assume a mistake like this. What I'm trying to say is that a mistake like this would be printed on bumper stickers and T-shirts. There'd be cafes named after it. If Donald Trump said he was friends with school shooters, it would be quite devastating, quite frankly. It's a pretty bad thing to say, pretty dumb thing to say. It says that you're not an intelligent person if you say it. Here's Tim Walz's response.
Do you want to clarify the comments that you made about school shooters?
Yeah, and look, you got to see me. These folks know me. I'm super passionate about this. The question come up about school shooting, we're talking about everything except school shootings. And I sat as a member of Congress with the Sandy Hook parents, and it was a profound movement. David Hogg is a good friend of mine. You have seen me do this. I was talking about being people where there are school shooters, and I need to be more specific on that, but I am passionate about this. This one, for my wife and I, is just, as teachers, as parents, is so personal.
So using the caveman argument again, this is like the fifth or sixth time we've heard Tim Walz punch himself, take his fist and punch himself directly in the nuts. Okay, this is we've watched it all on camera, time and time again. Tim Walz does this because he's just a filthy liar. Toss. I do love that tossing up. It's so good. Yeah, I love that. John Fetterman's embarrassed for Tim Walz. How bad is it when John Fetterman's back there going, "Oh, bro, no, bro, come on, man, pull back. No, bro. Oh, no. You sound like a horse's ass." Not to get Tim Walz too excited talking about horses' asses. Okay, here we go. Here's the memes. Donald Trump roasting him. Here are memes that Donald Trump posted. Here we go. Vance Trump, 2024, not friends with school shooters. This was my favorite, though. I need a VP dumber than me. I need a VP dumber than me. I need a vice president dumber than me. Tim Walz. Noises. Me so dumb. Me caveman. Tim Walz's response. He's had to do it like 5 or 6 times. I'm a dumbass, is what Tim Walz. This is like what he's had to say time and time again. All right, here we go. JD Vance yesterday talking about the school shooter comment, probably the 3rd or 4th dumbest comment made on stage.
We did this debate, and then I talked to the president afterwards, and we talked a little bit about, what actually happened, and, some of the points that I made, some of the points that Governor Walz made, and he made this observation. He said that Tim Walz said that he was friends with school shooters twice. And that's something I actually didn't notice, that Tim Walz had said that on the debate stage. And I said, "Did he really say that, sir?" And he said, "I'm telling you, man, go and watch the clips. He said he was friends with school shooters twice." And I said that was probably only the 3rd or 4th dumbest comment Tim Walz made that night then. Because look, I got to be honest, I feel a little bad for Governor Walz. And the reason I feel bad for him is because he has to defend the indefensible. And that is the record of Kamala Harris.
Yes, he has to defend the indefensible, and he's doing so like a Make-A-Wish kid. Ladies and gentlemen, we like Midwesterners with beards. You think I'm talking about JD Vance? You would be wrong. I'm talking about Jeremy from The Quartering, who joins us live now.
Hey, Benny. Thanks for having me, bud. How are you doing?
Jeremy, so demure, so mindful. Midwesterners with beards. You are a hot booking right now. JD Vance doing a stellar job and representing Midwesterners with beards very well the other night.
Look, I've been out here. I've been telling you, Benny. I've been telling the world that we are a rare breed of bearded, slightly overweight. It is a gold mine out here, ladies. Move to the Midwest. Get yourself a man that will give you the side eye, like JD Vance does when someone says something stupid.
All right. So I was hoping we could talk through memes. Yes. So the JD Vance side eye. Few commentators in the political and news space understand the power of meme culture more than The Quartering. And when you watched JD Vance become quite an iconic memes that are being really have gone parabolic, frankly, around the internet, and Tim Walz become like the joke, the butt of the joke. You know you've won. This is the meme energy. When you lose the meme energy, you're in a really bad spot. Your take.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at even the Trump Kamala Harris debate, where I think even the hardest Trump supporter could admit that Trump got a little triggered. He could have handled it a little bit better, even though it was stacked against him. He won the meme war. I mean, there was a guy who's touring, has a video with 10 million views of him singing a rendition of "They're Eating the Dogs, Eating the Cats." Shout out to the Kiffness. With this one, that side eye meme, I saw articles this morning that even gay Twitter is in love with JD Vance after all those mimetic moments. You had the "I'm friends with school shooters" thing, which is unbelievable. You had the I misspoke when I gave a 3-minute, very specific rendition about how I heroically was at Tiananmen Square, and then the "I'm just a knucklehead. I grew up in a small town, so we all lie." Like, one of the weirdest things. As someone who actually did grow up in a small town, by the way, people in big towns rode their bikes till the street lights turned on too, my dude. Like, he's just like, "Oh, I don't know. I grew up in a small town." What? No, you literally lied. You didn't misspeak. So yeah, that Donald Trump seizing on that, great news. All the memes, like, again, the left loses the meme war. The dumb VP thing is epic. The Vance side-eye meme is epic. The school, that's all anyone remembers. And even if you look at some of the predictive betting markets on the presidential election, which again, I only view as directional. People love to look at these various sites and think it means anything. It's about as accurate at polling, but directionally, they lost 2 points that night. Kamala Harris in those very same markets were leading by about 2 points as of today. Trump leads by, I don't know, 0.2 of a penny, but like directionally, that all the air got sucked out of the room, because now the mainstream media can't run 2 straight weeks of endless pro Tim Walz propaganda. They just have to go back to how bad she's bungling the hurricane.
So can we put JD back up? I would like to, just before we move on from this meme, can you teach me, as a bearded Midwestern man, can you teach me how to do this so that we can get a screenshot here? So okay, so it's side.
I gotta look up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. You have to look like annoyed, but like, it's like, man, this, like, this the bar has had 3 too many drinks, and like, you're looking at your boys and you're like, "Somebody save me," and they're like, "Nah, dude, this is too funny for us." Like, that's a come on, man, come on.
Like, you're out, you're mowing your lawn,
yeah,
and your wife just says, "Hey, come on in, honey, it's about to rain," and you're like, "I'm almost done." Right? Like, it's a Midwestern problem.
You fire that off. Or, for example, here'd be a great lawn mowing example.
Bring me a beer.
Yeah, well, or you've asked your neighbor, right, about their dog pooping in your yard, and then you're out there and your wife's like, "Please don't make it a big deal, please." And then you're like, "Fine." Then your wife comes out and the dog is literally pooping in your yard, and you look at your wife like, "See, like, I told you." Like,
That's right. The neighbor who lies that it's not their dog, and then
right.
You
catch them red-handed, and your wife's like, "Look, we gotta live next to these people. Don't say anything," and you're just like, "What do you want me to do here?" Like, I literally, you've screwed me here.
I got to tell you, this for a millennial. So we're both what would be considered, I think, older millennials.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is power right here. This meme right here is power. This meme from The Office. So The Office is sort of the marquee cultural iconography of our generation. And this was probably the winner of the night, I think.
He trained for it too, obviously.
Tonight's VP.
Yeah, just like Kamala Harris was very clearly coached on the split screen, JD Vance was coached too, and coached extremely well. Like, that look is the look. Like, a lot of people, Kamala Harris tried to do the "oh honey" kind of look, but it didn't really stick. But JD nailed it. Just like, what is this? Did this guy just say he was friends with school shoot? What do you want me to do here? Yeah,
it's
he's
meme.
Jim. Yeah,
it's meme gold. Yeah, it really. And you don't want to be compared to Kevin. You just don't. Kevin's lovable, but like, You don't.
That
you don't
chili looks pretty good though. Like it's unfortunate that that accident happened. That was one of the saddest days in the office history.
All right, so we're gonna just roll. We're gonna roll through it. Game recognized game. Okay,
Yeah.
I dig that.
Yeah.
We got the video of the dragon ones up. Yeah. Okay. All right. This is there we go. Okay. There we go. This is I'm friends with school shooters.
One of the funniest things that came out of Tim Walz's weird bug eyes. Did you see where they were like, where they had like some sort of expert come out and say, no, this is I'm totally dialed in and I'm very.
Yeah, Politico do that. Yeah. And the beard
watching that believes you.
The beard's intimidating.
Yeah.
Do Al Borland. Do Al Borland.
Shout out Al Borland. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Shout out Al Borland. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think so, Tim.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's perfect, bro.
Yeah, he should have said it during the debate. It would have been gold.
So,
yeah. I kept waiting for him to say it, but like, gosh darn it, dang you, JD Vance. You were just too professional. He didn't take the stolen valor pot shot, which people wanted him to do. He came across as all class and shout out to his performance. Absolutely stellar. And Trump made the correct decision picking JD Vance. There was a lot of hubbub around whether or not he picked it. Now, I knew the power of the Midwest. So I was like, nah, dog, he's perfect. And he proved it. He proved it that night.
So I thought a lot about this. And I thought, it's great to own the libs. And then when you lose, they own you, right? So you have to actually win. And elections are about addition, not subtraction.
Right.
And so if JD Vance came at this, and we've seen JD Vance, bear claw JD Vance, Wolverine JD Vance, right? We've seen him. He can go into attack mode and it's terrifying. It's savage. And he's been able to savage Tim Walz, not to his face, but about stolen valor and about his intelligence and how stupid and radical he is. That JD Vance did not show up. And why I think that is because of women.
Yes.
This is the last two campaigns' chances to go up against each other before the election. There's not going to be another debate. No. And the deficit that the Trump campaign has is not with men who watch UFC and love the octagon and all the fighters jump the cage and go like bow to Trump. You've seen this, right? Like Trump doesn't need fighter bros.
Right.
Like that's sold. The frat bros, they're done, right? They're going Trump.
Yeah.
And we find this out. We find this every single day. The deficit is with women. And if you can peel off 1 or 2 or 3% of women and JD Vance going out with like a softer, like calmer daddy's home, right? Daddy's pink tie, daddy's home, right? When dad comes home, everything's like more peaceful. Everything's more solid. And we can like relax a bit, right? Like he took that Midwestern dad thing to, I think, to the full end, extreme end result. And the result has been that he won like big time because that's the deficit they needed to make up. I wanted him to Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, straight into the heart, straight into the rib cage, pull the heart out. I wanted it. Hold it up. It's beating, right? I wanted him to do it. And I know he can do it, right? We know JD Vance. But I think that what they did was strategically genius.
Well, people also need to know about that too. It's not even necessarily about winning women. If we look at like the Latino numbers, Trump's not winning them, but he's losing them by an astronomical improvement over the last 4 candidates. The same thing with women. That's all Trump has to do is not get blown out. Like he has to lose 70-30 instead of 80-20. And that's the whole election. That's what people like. You move that needle 2-3 points in some of these groups that historically you've underperformed in. I think that that's all you need to win the election, and you need turnout, but I'm seeing memes of gay guys saying that their ovaries were humming while watching JD Vance. So I'm pretty sure he did pretty good. He looked presidential. If I dare I say, he looked there were times when he was very sympathetic. His whole, I'm so sorry to hear that your son witnessed that, Tim, even though that was probably a lie. There was a lot of conciliatory, there were a lot of conciliatory moments between JD Vance where he appeared human, where Trump just doesn't. Trump's always bigger than life. You know, he's a superstar. He's an entertainer, where JD Vance appeared to be really presidential and really calming. I think that will give women a little bit more confidence in voting for the ticket, because they're like, oh, I like that JD Vance guy, you know, and that's my hope anyway. I'm sure that was their hope.
Nobody likes a liar, right? Like, especially nobody likes a liar where it's like, it's not like you're, I don't know. I can't think of a situation where it's like,
look,
lying would be permissible, but like
here's where it is.
Where they caught Tim Walz was in lies that made no sense.
Yeah.
And his excuse is always, me no speak English good. Me caveman. Ooga booga booga. He did the same thing. He's done it on CNN. He's done it on the trail. And now he did it during the debate. Like, me dumb. Well, if that's the response, why the F are you running for vice president if you're so stupid?
A permissible lie in the Midwest is it was this big, and then it was, you know, or like oh, it was a monster buck and I just got really unlucky, or my sights were broken. These are things that you're like, okay, you know, like you'll allow that. A non-permissible lie is like telling somebody, oh, I just bought a brand new Polaris snowmobile, and then your buddy's at your house, and then like you're like, oh, where's that snowmobile? And they're like, and you're like, oh, well, it's in the you're like, it's like making up a totally unrequired lie that you then get caught out in a very public fashion. You will never escape that. I mean, most people probably in their life have somebody like that. You're like, oh, that's just, you know, Tim. He's just, you know, and maybe you like they're lovable and you allow it, but you just know they're full of BS. You wouldn't vote for that guy. You know, like the guy that says his fish was 1.5 feet long. It was really 8 or 9. You're like, whatever, you know, but this is very different.
It is very different because it's seemingly it's lying out of insecurity, which is the worst way to lie. Like you're lying in order to tell people you were in communist China when you weren't. Why? What's wrong about being in Nebraska teaching? There's nothing wrong with that. And we've covered this before, but like, dude, there's nothing wrong with your military service. Okay, you did some. There's some arguable things about the way that the people who served with you talk about you, but like, why not just say what you did? You know, like you could just say the exact facts that nobody could argue, that you were in for like 20 years, that you left with this rank and you ran for Congress. Okay, many such cases actually. But like you had to lie hundreds of times about your military service. It's an insecurity issue, and insecurity in men is a really unattractive trait. Like crippling insecurity, the inability to be comfortable in your own skin and own who you are as a man, to own like the mistakes you've made and the faults that you have, and to just own it and like do some mean shit talk with your friends, like breaking each other's balls. Like that's how men communicate. Yeah. Men don't like cower in the corner, like hiding their nuts, saying like, "Oh, please don't make fun of me. I'm actually really cool." Yeah. Like nobody respects that guy, right?
That's a great way. I've never heard it put that way before, so I don't know if that's a Benny TM way to put it, but like you're 100% right about the insecurity lies. It's a great way to put it, because it is extraordinarily, it is perfectly that. It's that he believes that what he's done in life or the things that he's done is not enough, when you know, he's totally fine. Like you said, I never served, so I'm not going to nitpick the guy whether or not he was on the front lines. Right? He still signed up. He still did his time. Nobody would have had a problem with that. And I think that when you look back, there will probably dozens. I bet you this whole shooting that his son witnessed is probably BS too. But like, there's nothing wrong with the service that he did, and the fact that he went up, testified in front of Congress, I believe. Or is that some sort of congressional meeting? That like, he specifically said, I was there in May during this event. And then when he's like, I think I said I was there in the summer. No, you said you were there in May. That is the exact quote. You said you were there. Like, it's such a weird, unrealistic, it's an unforced error. He doesn't have to do that.
No, but it says something worse. It says something worse about you when you can't just be comfortable in your own skin. It's the same problem Kamala has. And it's amazing how they both have the same issue, where they are insecure and cripplingly so, where they feel like they have to lie. They need to use fake accents with people. They need to tell fake stories about everything from McDonald's to where they served, instead of just like manning up and like being the man who you are, like just living with your decisions. Like,
there's nothing wrong with it. Like, there's nothing wrong with Kamala growing up, not like you can see with Kamala, every sentence starts with, "I grew up middle class." Who cares? Nobody cares about how you grew up. We care about who you are as an adult. And like Tim Walz is very not Midwest for being that. Like in the Midwest, like you said, we break balls. We don't hold stuff like there's no malice there. If he had even look at the difference with how JD Vance handled their gotcha question about him changing his mind on Trump. He's like, yeah, I got it wrong. So what? Like people get stuff wrong. People change their minds. Tim Walz is like, well, I grew up in a small town. Like, I mean, these are just two different people. Like, it's okay to be wrong. I feel like politicians need to embrace that more on both sides of the aisle.
Yeah, be a man, like no wonder they're losing men by like 70-30.
Yeah.
Like, because men don't respect that. Like, just accept it. And also, what does it say about small towns? Like, everyone's from a small town. Virtually all Americans are not like born inside of Manhattan General, okay? With Batman and Bruce Wayne. Like, most Americans are from very small, literally middle of nowhere, just like me and just like you. So what does it say when you're like, hey, the reporter's like, hey, you're a lying scumbag. We caught you in this like obvious, egregious lie. And he goes, I'm from a small town.
Naturally, I lied.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, what is that saying about small towns, jackass? Like that we're all liars, that we don't tell the truth, that we're so stupid. Like we could caveman. Like none of us can like remember where we were or what we were doing.
It will go down.
Big insult.
If this election is not fortified, choosing Tim Walz as a VP, and I've been very open about this, and I'll say it like with my whole chest. Kamala Harris did not take Shapiro, who was the better candidate for her presidency, in my opinion, because he's Jewish. And there is an element of a radical left that is fiercely anti-Semitic. And it was because she wanted to appease them, who probably won't vote anyway, because Palestine, Israel stuff, she picked a goofball, like an absolute idiot. And people thought, oh, it's because she was behind. No, she didn't take Shapiro because he was Jewish. That is I'm not Jewish. But I believe that, and it cost her the election because now she has Tim Walz.
It's just like base anti-Semitism. And now it's amazing. Speak about authenticity. Now Arabs, new polling shows that Arab Americans are going Trump. In Michigan, in a town called Hamtramck, which is the most Muslim majority city in America, with a Muslim city council and a Muslim mayor. They all just endorse Trump.
I bet you their neighboring school rivals call him ham sandwich.
I bet that's exactly what John Fetterman calls him. How bad is it when John Fetterman looks at you like this? When John Fetterman is looking at you like this, you've effed up. You've messed up, right?
Well, it also looks like caveman assemble. Like you have that hulking guy.
John Fetterman's upset because he's like, that's racist against cavemen like me. It's like a guy code.
Yeah, he's getting it on his grift. It's like there's that old I feel like there's one of those cartoon shows like Family Guy or something like that, where like, or maybe one of the old movies. I think it was one of the scary movies where there's like a black guy at the party, and then another black guy shows up and he's like, hey man, I'm supposed to be the one black guy at this party. And then they're like, oh shoot, man, sorry, I'm a little early. Like Fetterman's like, hey man, you're getting in on my caveman grift. Like he's actually pissed about it.
Yeah, I'm no Fetterman.
He put all that weight back. He put all that weight back on too. That sucks.
Oh, I mean, he can't be out caveman, right? Like Tim Walz is clearly like on Ozempic. So he's like, this is part of the caveman look, right?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like Fetterman, he was coming back to the reality world a little bit. But like, come on, player. Like, you're an elected official. We get it. You're trying to be an everyman, but everyman. Look, I'm wearing a hoodie too, just like he wears, and it fits me right, and it's not hanging off my body, and it's not like just like, come on, have some self-respect. Like dress. I get the caveman thing, but I don't know.
So this is we should do like the caveman segment, and like who in politics is doing the caveman grant.
Yeah, this
has been good, Jeremy.
Yeah, I like that. I like the grift. I'm as a guy, I support the grift, but I think like you said, Fetterman's like, no, it's like when Kamala uses her black scent. Black folks are like, nah, player, you're not black. You were Indian last week. Now Fetterman's like, hey, That's caveman cultural appropriation.
a new victim class.
Yeah, right, yeah. Caveman lives matter.
Jeremy from the Quartering. Everybody obviously go follow the Quartering. What are you covering today, man? What's your headlines today?
Well, I'm talking about the downfall of. I'll be live at 1 Eastern on Rumble. Hope you're looking for a place. We're talking about the downfall of the illegal meme law. We're talking about the whopping $700, just like Hawaii got while we sent billions to Israel and Ukraine. Kamala Harris is, you were talking about before I went live with your previous guest. Shout out to German Shepherds. I saw she had some German Shepherds, but I'm going to talk about the Jack Smith death throes. I think you guys were totally right. If Kamala Harris was, doubling up on Trump, they wouldn't be trying this last Hail Mary pass. So yeah, all that. And obviously panic buying has begun at Costco's, and the toilet paper meme is back. It's now butt gold. So we'll be talking about that. So yeah, lots to talk about today, Benny. I always appreciate you having me on and giving me a spot on your show. And I'm glad that you're safe from the weather. We haven't had a chance to connect since then, but I knew that maybe you had resurrected the Benny bunker and had to go into it during the hurricane.
We did have the Benny bunker. We're eternally sad that you couldn't join us in Chicago at the Benny bunker.
That's too many men in too small a space, I think. I just thought, I also didn't want to die. Chicago's dangerous enough. Then you wanted to be down there at night. Then you wanted me looking like this to be down there during the DNC. I thought that somebody had given you money to put my life at risk. I started to be very suspicious of you that you wanted me to be there.
All right. Jeremy, we have a meme from our meme team that they wanted to get your review on. It's very short. It's like 30-second meme. Do you have 30 seconds?
I do. Yeah.
Team,
how hard do you want me to be on it? You want me to be real?
They appreciate your work, and they appreciate your work, and they just want, I guess, either your boom or doom.
Okay, boom or oh god,
on this meme. Okay,
the boom, the caveman culture. Yeah.
Here we go.
Damn, this burger's good. Yo, Chinaman, taste some of that American democracy. You, me, rap battle now. America, the most powerful force. We're shooting down while we're winning your boss. Come on, man, you think you can rap? You probably work in a sweatshop and eat cat.
Hey, you f***ing fat. Your mama told me you need a smack. A Chinatown here, a Chinatown there. Before you even know a Chinatown everywhere.
What? Huh? Could you say that again? Cause I barely understood a word that you said.
But we're the best fighter. Nothing will be finer. Soon the whole world will be made in China.
Yeah.
All right, Jerry.
Yeah. Shout out to the OG epic rap battles in history. Excellent work on the meme. Excellent work on the tracking and keeping the face modeling set. Very, very good. High quality stuff. If you guys, I'll give it a. I'm not doing it. I'll give it a. Boom. I was gonna do it, but I will give it a boom as opposed to a doom. I'm not doing. That's another caveman culture thing that I don't. We're a Kafka family. Something's going to come. And I'll leave you with this. Mark my word, Benny. Something's going to come out about that dad. Something is going to come out. I promise you this, America. There is a deep, dark secret in that man's closet that will come out. I promise you this.
Ooh, okay. It's always in the eyes. Yes, always in the eyes. They're compensating for something.
Yeah. Hey, come see my show. I'm live at 1 today. Benny, thanks for having me on. I know I probably ran over, bud. So
all right. Well, can't go to. Hopefully, we share the same prison cell in California when they arrest us for our memes. Thank you. See you, Jeremy. Later, homie. Jeez. Okay. So much fun with Jeremy from the Quartering. Very interesting time. Something we're going to talk about more on the show tomorrow. we're going to be doing a special on the work that we've been doing in Appalachia. There's been a lot of news this week, and we've been rolling, but we've also been rolling to help our fellow Americans all inside of the affected hurricane zone. I can tell you we've spent a lot more. This is we're not trying to pride ourselves here. It's it's obviously capital that's it's God's money, right? Actually, it's like for us to help our fellow Americans. It's our obligation. But we spent a lot more than $750. Kamala Harris promising $750 to the people who've had their lives destroyed in Appalachia. If they can prove it, it's insane. Look at this. Mayorkas warns FEMA doesn't have enough money to last through the hurricane season. Oh, they don't have enough money. These people can go to hell. You go to hell. I'm done, man. I'm done with these. I'm done. I think this happening. This is all happening. It's an act of God. They say these things are an act of God. It is an act of God. It's not an act of climate change. It's an act of God. And God can change the climate anytime he wants to. Just ask Egypt. But what a perfect example of what America last looks like. And it's not just for red states. There are some red and blue states affected by this hurricane. Okay. It's not just for red states. It's for people in like the bluest of states, like Hawaii. Like these people didn't give a damn about people in Hawaii. They didn't give a damn about people in East Palestine. They didn't do anything for the millions of people that are without power right now. They're stuck in the mountains. In fact, they're trying to stop them from being saved. I think they want them to die. I don't know. You have to assume that. Pete Buttigieg is out this morning, and we're going to do a big special tomorrow on it. We're going to have Corey Mills on. We're going to have families on that are affected. We're going to talk about the work that we've been doing with you because you support the show, and we thank you for it, and how we've been helping out, how we've been doing more than the damn federal government. Pete Buttigieg this morning saying, you're not allowed to fly drones over the area. Well, the drones are what helps find the people who are stranded. You ever been to these mountains? You ever been to Appalachia? It's all these little mountain communities. The roads get washed out. They all get stranded up there. They need help. We've been flying helicopters in with our friends at Mercury One and with Corey Mills, congressman here. We've been flying in helicopters to give them the much needed aid. Here's our helicopter. This is what we've been doing together. How exciting is that? Here's our helicopter. These are rescue baskets. We've saved families. We've brought in material and supplies. We've spent a lot more than $750. I know we're not the federal government. We don't own money printing presses around here. They can only spare $750. We're doing our job. We're doing our obligation to you and to our fellow Americans to help. Do you have the material that we've sent, please? No, do we not have that? Okay. But I just want to say thank you. Like again, it's a thankful show. We're very, very grateful today. There's been some major blessings over the past few weeks, and this is one of them. To be able to do things like this, and more to come. More to come. This is what America First actually looks like in practice. I was laughing almost to the verge of tears with Jeremy. Everybody needs to laugh, especially people who are suffering. People who are suffering actually need to laugh even more, right? Like need us to. Nobody likes everything being so damn serious all the time. So why not end with assault that lid, ladies and gentlemen? We need to salt the libs. So chat, get the salt shakers ready. You know what to do. We put that salt in the chat. We must prepare ourselves, okay, for the Salt-nado. We can call it Salt-nado. We'll try it. Salt-nami. I like that one. We'll in November. There's going to be a Salt-nami across the country. We must prepare ourselves by building up our immunity or building up our capacity for sodium. And so we're going to do assault.lib every single day through the election. This one is particularly hysterical. CNN anchor Jim Acosta has seething meltdown, soy-infused, hysterical, feline meltdown, crying massive crocodile tears on TV with top Trump aide, Corey Lewandowski. Jim Acosta then lectures him about how to pronounce Kamala Harris's name after he gets fact-checked about what Kamala Harris has done to the country. Oh, it's salty. Oh, it's delicious. And please, ladies and gentlemen, let's salt that lid.
Started when Trump falsely claimed at last month's debate that Haitian migrants were eating pets. The governor of Ohio, the mayor of Springfield have both come out and said this is not true. Corey, can you say that Haitian migrants are not eating pets in Springfield? Can you say that?
You know what I can say, Jim? I can say that 13,099 murderers were let into this country, 16,000 rapists, 425,000 people in the last 4 years have been let into this country by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's own Customs and Border Protection that are running
Corey,
around this country, Jim.
The other thing, too, it's Kamala Harris.
Crimes.
I don't know. Why do you guys say Kamala? That is, it's Kamala Harris.
Jim, we know that they're committing crimes against Americans. Why can't these individuals talk about the individuals who've been killed by illegal immigrants? 13,099 murderers have been let into this country by this administration's own accounting, and you guys don't want to talk about it. To put that in perspective,
Corey, we talk about
viewers,
immigration all the time. We talk about this all the time.
Jim, admit that 13,099 murders have been let into this country. That's 4 murderers for every single county in America. You don't think that that's a problem?
Border crossings are down and crime is down in this country. But
crime is not down in this country. The FBI
I asked you at the
lied,
beginning
Jim,
of this interview, did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election? I just asked you whether Haitian migrants are eating dogs and cats in Springfield. You won't admit the truth on either of those questions. I want to ask you about something that
13,000 murderers have come into the country. 13,000
number is false, by the way. The 13,000 number is false.
Why is it false, Jim? If the government's own data says that, CBP's own data put this out last week. So why do you say it's false if the government put out? By the way, this is the Biden-Harris administration who put out.
The government also says border crossings are down.
But Jim, you just said that was a false number. How do you get to that? The politics of the top of the administration, whether it's Mayorkas or it's Kamala or it's Joe Biden, Donald Trump should have had additional resources.
What is this Kamala? It's Kamala Harris. Corey, you've been in this business a long time. I think you're a mature grown-up. It's Kamala Harris. Can you just say Kamala, or you cannot say Kamala?
Jim, can you admit 13,099 murders that have come into the country? You say you haven't.
Well, Corey, I appreciate you coming on. Maybe we'll have you back. Thanks for your time. All right, coming up.
Ooh, feisty grandma energy from Jim Acosta. Jim Acosta all he needs is a wig, and he would be welcome on The View. It's just like the same thing, same energy. Very, very estrogen-fueled, feline, battle-hardened Corey Lewandowski was there with the receipts. Very impressive, actually. The receipts are true, by the way. I'm not sure if we have the documentation here, but the receipts are actually true. I think it's very important to say this, that these numbers come from the federal government. Also, how are you, how exactly are you able to explain? Here we go. There you go. How exactly, and what is the letter from Patrick Leichner, ICE deputy director? So the current deputy director of ICE gave these numbers out. A shock to CNN, of course. There, Jim Acosta has a menopausal meltdown. Very exciting, very exciting times. Not setting their best. Also, if you continue to lecture people on how to pronounce the name of your candidate, it's not I don't think it's the strongest look. We still say Kamala, and we think that Kamala is the strongest. That's what we think. Kamala. Nobody cares. It's like, no one cares. She can't even say her name, right? Joe Biden doesn't say her name. Joe Biden doesn't even know his own name. All right. We know one thing is that, well, we're only here because of you. We say thank you. For those of you who've joined the Benny Brigade, for those of you who are members on our channel, for those of you who just support us by watching, we know that the economy is tough right now. And so, and we do not discriminate. We just say thank you. Like, if you're watching the program, if you're sharing the content, we love you, and we're doing it for you, right? We're doing it for the country. We want to have a little bit of a laugh, right? It's an absurd time in this nation. We want to have a little bit of a laugh, like, with all seriousness. We just want to save this place, and that's all we want to do. If you wish to support us in that mission, then please. We support you with the verse of the day, give you a little bit of optimism heading off into your Thursday from Psalms 119. You're blessed when you stay the course, walking steadily on the road revealed by God. Stay the course. Hey, man, it's been a crazy year. It's been tough. We've had some L's, quite frankly. This is how it goes. You have L's, you have W's. And this year, our W's are outnumbering our L's by a huge amount. Part of that is our new program and our new channels, Benny on the Block and Benny Brews. We have our first Benny Brews that was filmed yesterday here in studio. It's really awesome. In-person guests, long, thoughtful conversations, asking real questions. We're going to get to the bottom of who is Ryan Routh, the Trump assassin? We brought in a world's expert to explain exactly what was going on. And will they let Trump become president, right? Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So make sure that you're subscribed, ladies and gentlemen. To take us out, boys, do we have that new Benny on the Block that we did from Ybor City? We sort of teased it, so why not? Got some good energy going off into the end of the week here. We started the show by saying the youths love Trump. All the data shows the youths love Trump. We want to go out and prove those polls because those, just numbers. It's important to see it, to believe it. And on our new channel, Benny on the Block, go subscribe. This is going viral right now. The kids are all right. Here we go. Kamala. Hey, you want to say something to Kamala?
Fuck this bitch, dude. She's just casting couch all the way to the top.
I fucking love this man. He's my motherfucker. He's the GOAT.
Greatest of all time.
Mega!
Oh, hi, guys. See her standing there. What do you say to her?
Get the fuck out of my face.
Tell her.
She's fake as shit. I just feel like he keeps it real, and I just fuck with him. He keeps it real.
What's your message to Kamala? She's standing right there.
Go fuck yourself.
Okay.
Trump or Kamala? Who we got?
We got Trump all the way. Kamala.
Yes. What's your message?
Trump 2024. Frankly, they say, Donald, how do you do it? How do you win? You keep winning, quite frankly.
What's your message to Kamala?
You are such a skank. Oh my gosh.
She's a commie, that's all she is. This is my fucking boy right here.
Three-time assassination survivor, puts him way out of the competition. How many bullets has she missed? Yo, she was in office for 4 years. Not one. Shit. He's way out of the game. Fuck Kamala, 2 fingers up Kamala. Fuck Kamala.
What are you talking about? This guy right here.
Yeah. Tell us why.
Because I'm not an idiot.
Yeah. And what you have to say to her face?
She's an idiot.
Yeah.
Trump, baby! Trump all day!
Trump. What's your message? Her. This will work. Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. We're here in Ybor City in Tampa, Florida. This is where the party is at. Every club, every rave, every bar is right here on the street. It is Saturday night. So what do people think about my boy Trump? We're gonna find out today on Benny on the Block. Let's go.
You see this lady right here? She's not making America great again. This man right here, you see that hat, MAGA? Amazing.
Trump or Kamala, what do you think, man? Trump. Yeah. What, you got anything to say to Kamala?
Got the race. At least explain what your policies are.
Did you make $1 million today?
No.
Why? What stopped you today from making $1 million?
Her policies. Yeah, her economy. Okay, so you're Trump?
No, I am.
You're Trump. Okay, you're Kamala. Okay, all right.
We have completely different answers, and yeah, we're fucking buddies, man.
That's great. People love seeing that. There needs to be more of that, actually.
Yeah, it's not basketball, it's not football, it's like our entire democracy, right? And we should be able to disagree and still be able to do this shit, within those disagreements, right?
Look at that.
Definitely not Kamala. Absolutely not.
Definitely not Kamala.
Why would I want to vote for a socialist?
Yes, that's right. I mean,
I moved here from New York, so why would I want to vote for that?
Yo, I feel that. We're gonna start fights. We're gonna start fights. God.
Trump.
Trump, baby. Yeah.
Kamala Harris all day.
Yeah.
That other one.
What's that? I feel like there are words unspoken here, sir.
That's probably best because the police are here.
Oh, no.
Make America great again, you heard me?
That's right.
I am actually not a Trump fan. However, when I heard that Biden was no longer going to run, I was so hopeful that we would have a stand-up person to represent our country. And it's not Kamala. My son just joined the military. He just joined the Navy. I'm so proud of him. Thank you. It changes my viewpoint a little bit. The biggest thing that we need right now is protection, and I feel like Trump is the right person. I worry that too many people are voting for Kamala because they are anti-Trump, and I just would love for them to really look deeper into the matter and really consider the huge implications of what this vote really means.
Wow, that was unexpected and awesome. Trump all day, baby. Trump all day, baby. Yes, why is that?
I'm a small business owner, and his policies regarding the border, 10 million, I think, came in this year. And it almost seems like our country's leaning more towards supporting the immigrant rather than the citizen. I feel like everyone deserves a happy, helpful place to live, a government that supports them, and I'm sorry that your government collapsed. But the United States has played Big Daddy to every single country ever. It's about time that we focus back on ourselves. I mean, you know how they say you should work on yourself before you get into a relationship? America needs to work on itself before we be big brother to everyone else.
Such smart individuals, smart people, sharp. What's your message to my man?
I loved when you were in office. I love the things you do. Bring it. Let's go. Is that how tall she is, actually?
These are life-size heights.
These are life-size? Man, no.
We were shocked at how short she actually is.
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
Yeah.
What's up, man? Nation attempts is still alive.
That's right. The guy's got...
Top the man. They can't shoot him 3 times. Bulletproof, 59 scared.
Trump.
Yeah. Why?
Because he has way better policies and Kamala doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about.
She is actually copying a lot of my plan. In fact, we're going to send her a MAGA cap.
Yeah. And she knows how to talk to the audience and she knows how to sell herself to you. And she's a liar. She's an actress.
Yeah.
That's literally what she is.
Yeah.
If you watch the debate, she's literally just like, she's literally a liar.
Better economy, safer
better economy.
country.
And I'm a broke college student and I'm trying to buy a house when I'm older.
Yes.
So, make America great again.
Trump 24. Let's go afford some f***ing houses. I want a house.
The accent.
Hit him with the accent. Trump 24.
Quite frankly, we need Trump back in the White House, quite frankly. Frankly, they say, Donald, how do you do it? How do you win? You keep winning, quite frankly.
I have one shot. Go f*** yourself.
Jack Sparrow.
Oh, hi, guys. Are they really that? Is that the height difference in real life?
Yes, yes. These are 100% accurate heights.
Do you not believe in being fair?
We do.
Well, I don't understand it. This is a height. She's got heels on. He doesn't. Unfair.
Yeah, but you have heels on, Jack. Hey, you want to say something to Kamala? Yeah, talk to her.
Like, f this bitch, dude. She's just casting couch all the way to the top. She got 0 votes, and we got to do something better for America. But much love, you guys. That's my guy, bro. Much love, dude.
Right,
Bam.
right. Casting couch all the way to the top.
Bro, they got Donald Trump and Kamala Harris in this bitch.
Trump or Kamala, what do you think?
I mean, so you're going to ask me my take on this. Hold on, let me put this.
What you streaming on, Kick?
Dang, how do you know? Jeez.
Nice, what's up?
Oh, word.
What's up, it's Benny.
What's your name on Kick?
Benny Johnson.
Benny Johnson on the Kick, John. Yeah, Benny Johnson on the Kick, John.
What's going on, guys?
They said Trump or Kamala.
Yeah, Trump or Kamala.
I'm not sure I want to say that.
Who you got?
Chat, y'all know who I got. But look, I'm not sure I want to say it, in front of a camera, though.
So that means Trump.
Oh!
This man, I got someone who wants to make America great again.
Nah, you know what I mean? Cash, you know what I mean?
People coming up, kissing the statue, kissing these two, and oh my.
And look, listen,
she's into it. Trump or Kamala?
Trump. Is it even actually a question?
Yes.
I've never seen her do anything what I think is best for my country. I think he's best for my country.
There's so many people that think that same way.
I'm a libertarian, but I'm voting Trump.
There we go, my man. And we have Elizabeth Warren. I had no idea she'd be in Florida. Elizabeth Warren, what do you think, Trump or Kamala? I think I already know. No? Anything?
Donald Trump.
Just a strong silent type.
Oh my goodness. Trump, you are gonna win. You might have been tried to be assassin twice, but you are making it. And you are gonna make America great again. Woo! MAGA! You are such a skank. Oh my gosh. You don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Fact check this, bitch. How was our economy 4 years ago? Way better under this man right here.
That is called Bidenomics, and we are very proud of Bidenomics.
I had better retirement, better gas miles, better everything. Our groceries weren't expensive. I didn't have to fall on my knees and cry because my retirement was taken from me because of this woman. You didn't do anything the last 3.5 years. What are you talking about? You didn't do anything 3.5 years and now you want to do something about it? wall and make our taxes better. And for God's sake, make America great again!
All right. Sounds like that was therapeutic for everyone. Trump or Kamala, what you got?
Trump for sure.
Yeah.
First of all, a better economy. Second of all, no more immigrants. Not saying that immigrants are a bad thing, but illegal immigrants are. They're taking jobs, they're taking houses, they're taking salaries away from people who actually deserve it and who actually belong in this country. Kamala doesn't know what she's doing. Trump is 100% a better fit for this country than Kamala, no doubt.
Trump. With her, our country will be fucked. That's all I gotta say.
And what do you have to say to Kamala?
She's a manipulator. That's all.
No, you're right.
What do we got? Trump or Kamala?
Trump, 100% Trump.
Trump all the way.
I fucking love this man. He's my he's the GOAT. Don't play with him.
He knows what's up.
He knows what's good. What's up, my boy?
Yeah.
Don't play.
Type
shit.
4 more fucking years and he's gonna do great things. I can't fucking wait. You can't fucking wait. We can't fucking wait. Come on. Love that right here. Look at that smile. Look at that smile right there. Trump's my guy. You kiss this motherfucker right here.
Look at that guy, how handsome he is. I'll kiss him.
USA! USA! USA!
Hey, make America great again, right?
Yep.
Okay?
Right.
They're trying to take our loud cars. We don't f with that.
Yeah, loud cars.
Loud cars in California.
No shit.
They don't let that fly.
Wow. That would like
that one, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, Marxism. She loves that shit.
For Kamala, who we got? Look at this.
Trump, baby! Trump all day!
Trump. That's right. Can I get Make America Great Again?
Make America great again!
Yes. What's your message to her?
Give up.
Yeah, give up.
Give up.
Yeah.
Give up.
Yeah. Donald Trump, remember to vote for Donald Trump, okay?
Amazing.
Kamala doesn't even have any policies. No fucking policies.
Donald Trump?
Yes.
Trump 2024, motherfucker.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Kamala. Make America great again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Kamala? She's just gonna burn this country to the ground. She's a commie, that's all she is.
What's she talking about?
This is this fucking boy right here.
Boy right here.
4 more years of Trump.
Come on, baby.
4 more years.
I love you, Donnie.
Yeah. And what'd you say to Kamala?
Fuck you, Kamala.
Succinct in its brevity. Poetic, even.
Trump looks faded as f, so I'm gonna say Trump.
Okay.
Trump 2024. Give him a little hit.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Come on, you felon, bro. Like, get that man in office.
You might as well get that man in office.
That's right.
And he's tall as hell. Look how small Kamala is.
Is that how tall she is actually?
Is that the height difference in real life?
Tell, look how small Kamala is. You can't have a small leader.
These are real life.
These are real life issues.
This is real life out here.
And look at those thumbs up. Come on.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. Kamala kind of got the.
That's
the
what I
dumpy.
look like when my mom tells me, am I high? And I say, no, I'm not high, mama.
Yo, Kamala down bad out here. You'd assume bunch of young people, very diverse demographics out here in Party Town in Ybor City, that there'd be more love for Kamala Harris, but doesn't work, man. It was probably 10-1 for your boy Don. And, well, that's a poll, the party poll. And we are out here. It's your boy Benny on the block. See ya.
Truth gon' be faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade. Cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing bringing liberty to life. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny shows a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light.